this course covered the following subjects. What is ETCS? ETCS levels, ETCS trackside, ETCS onboard unit, determining and reporting location, ETCS supervision, ETCS movement authorities, issuing an ETCS movement authority, starting and ending a mission, level transitions. Module 2. What is ETCS? The Interoperability Directive split railways into infrastructure managers and railway undertakings. Technical specifications for interoperability define standard interfaces between them. The European Train Control System, ETCS, is defined in the Control, Command and Signalling TSI, and ERTMS is composed of ETCS plus GSMR or FRMCS, and ETML. Module 3. ETCS levels. In ETCS Level 1, movement authorities are transmitted from Eurobalises, switched by LEUs as trains pass over them, whereas in Level 2, an RBC transmits movement authorities over radio in response to ETCS position reports from trains. ETCS fitted trains are in Level 0 or Level NTC when travelling over infrastructure that is not fitted with ETCS. In ETCS Level NTC, non-ETCS ATP, cab signalling or ATO uses ETCS onboard units to interface to trains and drivers. Module 4. ETCS trackside. Eurobalises are track-mounted devices that transmit telegrams to ETCS-fitted trains passing over them, when energised by radiation from those trains. They can either be standalone devices transmitting fixed telegrams, or connected to an LEU that determines the telegrams transmitted. LEUs can determine telegrams based on voltage/current sensors on signalling circuits, or network connection to an interlocking and control centre. ETCS Level 1 infill information can be provided by Eurobalises, leaky feeder cables called Euroloops, or over radio via radio infill devices. In ETCS Level 2, an RBC signals trains via data radio based on information received from the interlocking and control centre. ETCS stop markers may also be provided at block section boundaries. Module 5. ETCS onboard unit. At the heart of each ETCS onboard unit is a vital computer that performs automatic train protection, cab signalling, and in some applications, automatic train operation functionality. A juridical recorder unit logs events and messages for analysis in the event of an incident. Drivers interact with onboard units via driver-machine interfaces in their driving cabs. Drivers can also isolate onboard units via an isolation switch. As a minimum, onboard units can instigate brake application and traction cutoff and receive cab and direction controller status information. Antennae power and read Eurobalises, and may also read Euroloops. Trains capable of ETCS Level 2 or Level 1 radio infill also have radio antennae and modems. Odometry equipment measures distance travelled since the last relevant Baileys group with a confidence interval and speed. Module 6. Determining and reporting location. ETCS locations are defined and reported in terms of a Baileys group, a distance from that Baileys group, and a direction. Direction can be established from Baileys groups with 2 or more Eurobalises, or assigned in Level 2 based on position reports from successive Baileys groups. Direction can also be assigned via linking information, which tells onboard units where to expect successive Baileys groups and their orientation. Kilometric locations can be assigned to Baileys groups for the purpose of geographic reporting to the driver. Module 7. ETCS supervision. Standstill supervision applies brakes if a train from moves more than a short distance when its ETCS onboard unit is in standby mode. Rollaway protection applies brakes if a train moves more than a short distance in a direction contrary to that of its direction controller. Reverse movement protection applies brakes if a train moves more than a short distance in a direction contrary to its current ETCS mode. ETCS calculates a most restrictive speed profile, indicates this to the driver, and intervenes to prevent trains travelling too far or too fast. Lower braking rates are used in areas identified as having low adhesion. Module 8. ETCS Movement Authorities. All movement authorities have either a limit of authority, where target speed is greater than 0 km per hour, or an end of authority, EOA, where target speed equals 0 km per hour. Where target speed equals 0 km per hour, ETCS defines an supervised location, SVL, at either the overlap, danger point, or EOA. Trains can closely approach and pass an EOA by means of a release speed when an overlap and/or danger point is configured. Movement authorities are usually sent with speed and gradient profile and linking information. They may also be sent with mode profiles, instructing ETCS onboard units to transition to on-site, limited supervision, or shunting mode. EOAs, danger points, overlaps, linking, and profile information are all expressed in terms of distances from a last relevant Belize group. Module 9. Issuing an ETCS Movement Authority. Movement authorities can be issued on reading ETCS Level 1 Belize groups, changes in aspect level conditions, or triggered by requests or train position reports in Level 2. In conventional signalling in ETCS Level 1, trails are associated with routes by the physical location of the devices issuing movement authorities. In ETCS Level 2, the RBC has to associate a train with a route before issuing it with a movement authority. If the train is in full supervision mode, its movement authority can simply be extended. In other modes, additional assurance is needed that there are no obstructions in front of the train and that it will enter the route if it proceeds forward. Where trains change direction, movement authorities with shifted location reference are required as the last relevant Belize group is in front of the trains. Movement authorities can be shortened in response to replacement of a signal or ETCS stop marker, or loss of aspect level interlocking conditions. In ETCS Level 2, movement authorities can also be cooperatively shortened, whereby the new movement authority is only accepted if the receiving train can stop before its end of authority. Module 10. Starting and ending a mission. An unpowered ETCS onboard unit is in no power mode. When it first receives power, the onboard unit enters standby mode. If a train has multiple interlocked driving cabs, opening one cab causes onboard units associated with the others to enter sleeping mode. Having entered driver ID, the driver can select the following modes via the start of mission procedure without entering train data: non-leading, shunting, supervised manoeuvre. To enter the following modes, the driver needs to enter train data and press the start button during the start of mission procedure. Staff responsible, full supervision, on-site, limited supervision, unfitted, national system. Transitions to standby or shunting modes are usually considered an end of mission and result in termination of communication sessions. Module 11. Level transitions. An ETCS onboard unit must establish a communication session with a radio block centre before entering a Level 2 area. Level transition order Belize groups are placed at level transition boundaries and often preceded by level transition announcements. Level transition orders and announcements can contain a prioritised list of more than one level. Transitions into Level 0, into and out of Level National Train Control (NTC), require driver acknowledgement before or within 5 seconds of transitioning. Conditional level transition orders and announcements allow a train to remain in its current level if this appears in the prioritised list. Drivers can also instigate level transitions manually on trains that are at a standstill.